Welcome back to the Traders Network. I'm Michael Yorba, your host. Thanks for joining us. We're also streaming to you live on yorbamedia.com and broadcasting to you from the Dallas KFXR 1190 AM Clear Channel studios. All right, for the next two segments, I've got Ron Dutt, CEO of FLUX Power Holdings, the symbol FULX. If you take a look at that chart, you're going to really, really like it. All right, Ron, welcome to the show. Thank you for showing up. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Michael. Glad to be on your show.
All right. You are taking charge of one of the leading causes of enterprise growth and turmoil, energy. And you're doing it through your company. Let me back up a minute. If you would give our audience a feel for you, a little bit of a background on you, and then we get into your company.
Yeah, sure. No, listen, my background is primarily financial. I have been CFO of three public companies, larger public companies, and EVP of three companies, and run operations and most functions in the company. I've been at Ford. Some other names you might recognize are Visa, the credit card, DHL, Americas. I was CFO there, package delivery, Fritz, now a division of UPS, directed at electronics and Sola. And I have had, other than those big companies, some consulting and COO roles in a couple startups in the past few years. So I'm successfully bridging that gap. Been in companies from high growth to turnaround. And I guess the last thing I'd say, I've got a degree in chemistry, which is relevant to energy, and an MBA in finance.
All right. Now, that's certainly enough to make this thing go. You have a restart on your hands with FLUX. Tell me about it.
Sure. The company was started in 2009 by its founder, Chris Anthony, and they targeted batteries for electric vehicles. That was all the rage in 2009, 2010, and he had come off another startup with that where he was able to develop a lot of patents and saw the opportunity there. So they targeted some niche customers in that area, and unfortunately, there's a lot of consolidation, and the customers the company had didn't make it. Our product performed well, but they didn't make it. So a year ago, we had to restructure the company, repath it. And our goal was to sell a product where we didn't have to rely on the equipment being adopted. And most of the people with the battery management technology that we had were chasing cars and big trucks and the bigger fish. We decided to chase the industrial equipment where there was really no competition in this product.
All right. Well, somebody really likes your stock because it's moved from 5 cents to 19 cents in a very short period of time. So that shift is obviously reflecting in greater shareholder value. Let's talk about the material handling part of your business and bring that out for us for a minute.
Yeah, sure. Industrial equipment is a huge area. Most people don't know about it. They know about cars, but everything from forklifts, there are all kinds of different types of forklifts in warehouses and other material handling areas, tug and tow equipment. All of those use lead-acid batteries or propane, and about half of them are lead-acid batteries typically. And there's nobody else really selling the lithium product, and the lithium product will replace those lead-acid batteries. And they're better, cheaper, and there's an installed base. The other thing is these large companies with a lot of this equipment manage all their equipment on a fleet management basis. So our selling to them is just not a one-off sale here and there. So it's addressing their fleet needs.
Brilliant. So you're into a market that really has got little attention, so there's very little competition for what you do. And then when it comes to the product you provide, you're in another category all your own, because nobody else is making the lithium batteries that you're making. How did you? I mean, it sounds like you're going to own your own space.
Well, we have an open playing field right now. I fully expect others to get this. The opportunities there, I think, once we showcase it, we'll have other players in it. I would actually like some other players in it. I mean, there's a million pieces of new equipment sold each year, and I'd like someone else to help us with our marketing and education on what a lithium-based energy pack, battery pack can do in this industry.
Okay. All right. Well, they'll show up soon enough. I know once they start seeing what's going on with you. Let's if we can. We've got plenty of time here in this segment. Let's look under the hood a little bit, because if you will, tell us about the secret sauce of your battery management system and their design, and then if we have time, a couple of highlights on some of the products.
Sure. The company was started in 2009, and it had about 9 to 12, actually about 20 patents in terms of the circuit boards, the wiring, the software, the firmware to manage cells, these lithium cells, these large format cells. They're more expensive, but they have a much longer life and outperform lead acid. The key is you've got to manage these batteries. You've got to ensure that they charge properly, the cells are balanced, they manage the state of charge. You don't undercharge, overcharge, to ensure you get a longer life. And so our battery management system does that, and it does it automatically, really, for the user. Others have a battery management system. A couple years ago, our company was saying we're the only ones that have a battery management system that really works. So we have been state of the art with this battery management system, but we know there are a lot of players who are constantly innovating and building their technology. So are we. We're working on our third generation. As we learn more about our customers, it's like any manufacturing. Anybody's been in manufacturing, you are continually looking at design improvements, what the customer really wants, what they don't need, in an effort to provide the lowest cost alternative and provide those features that they need. In addition to that, I'd say on a longer-term sustainable basis, as the technology becomes more mature, our really secret sauce is application engineering, which we've proven and have some really very happy customers that we work well with to figure out how to get our packs into their piece of equipment, because all the pieces of equipment out there, or most of them, have different sizes, dimensions, power needs, and different use. So we work with them to provide solutions to them.
Give me a for example.
Well, in the lift equipment, there's the smaller piece of equipment called walkie. You walk behind, it's self-propelled, it's got a forklift on it, and it lifts equipment. And there's about 60,000 of those sold per year. Then there's the ride-on, which is another class. There are actually 6 classes of equipment, which requires much more integration of packs with the ride-on. There's also a stand-on version, which is a class 3. So and each manufacturer can have different dimensions. So our plan is to sell to all the major manufacturers, and some of the manufacturers we have to put our cells in a steel enclosure, and that may require a different dimension and some other different specs that integrate with the equipment.
Let's do this. Let's take a break now and talk about all of the other things. I have a litany of questions for you again, but before we go, you have contact information for the investors that are listening to the show to call in and find more information. Please give it to us now.
Yeah, sure. If you just Google Flux Power, you'll come right to our site, which is FLUXPWR.com. The contact phone number is 877-505-3589.
All right, Ron, we'll be right back on the other side of this break, all right?
Thanks, Michael.
All right, we'll be right back with Ron Dutt, CEO of Flux Power Holdings, and special thanks to Monk Media and 1-800-publicrelations.com for all their PR and media support. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Traders Network. I'm Michael Yorba, your host. Thanks for joining us. We're also streaming to you live on yorbamedia.com and broadcasting to you from the Dallas KFXR 1190 AM Clear Channel studios. All right, it's my pleasure to bring on Ron Dutt, CEO, Flux Power Holdings, symbol FLUX. All right, Ron, when we left off, we had a whole bunch of things, and we really rapid-fired through those. But you, being in California, you actually have a Texas connection. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we do, and it's surprising, and it's interesting. This call is coming out of Texas. Recall that most of you bought laptops and cell phones, and particularly in the late 80s, all those were powered by lithium polymers cells, and still are. There was a lithium cobalt in that Boeing plane you probably read about, but that was lighter and was subject to combustion. In 1996, at the University of Texas in Austin, which I think most of you have heard of before, one of the researchers developed lithium iron phosphate, and that has become the chemistry of choice for electrolyte in these cells. It's the safest, has the most cost-effective parameters, weight-wise, and energy density. So I guess Flux needs to thank the University of Texas for that one.
Yes, definitely.
We're also one of already started selling to one of your largest equipment dealers located in Fort Worth called Choppa's, and they're in 9 or so locations in Texas and Missouri, and we're just very pleased to be working with them. In fact, we just gave them a quote on another significant large customer they have today, so it's very timely. They've been a regular winner of the President's Award, the highest award that Toyota Material Handling gives out. They've done that for many, many years. So they're a proven player, and I love working with people who really know what they're doing. Pepsi had an annual show last week in San Antonio. If anybody's listening from San Antonio, their annual supplier show, and Toyota introduced our pack to that whole show last week and went extremely well. So Flux likes San Antonio as well. And lastly, our largest shareholder, who's been here from the beginning and has had the face from day one, lives in Corpus Christi. So thanks to Texas.
Plenty of reason to come back out here and start taking part of our down home atmosphere. All right, we got to get you out here and get you into the studio. Now, I understand that you also have some products that are early phase of industry review and testing. So walk us through some of that. And I think didn't Toyota just give you the good housekeeping seal of approval also?
Yeah, less than 2 weeks ago, we announced in a press release that Toyota had done that. They had given us their approval to put our packs in their equipment that they sell nationally. And we had to be careful to say it's not an endorsement. Toyota doesn't like to go there, as most large companies don't want to do that. But this was a real game changer for us. We had been approaching a number of the dealerships, and they were going to order, and then they said, well, we actually need that Toyota approval. So I think we've got the gun's gone off at the starting line here. We've had dealers say that what you're doing is going to revolutionize this industry, this forklift or lift equipment industry. We have our packs in one large customer in Florida right now, who their people working with our packs said, why doesn't all of our equipment have these Flux battery packs on them? So we're getting a very good initial response. We are in the early phase of this rollout. We're a public company, so you can see our financials. So you probably those financials are lag a little bit the actual revenue, but you'll start to see the revenue build. We sell through equipment dealers and battery distributors, and we are building out that network across the country. We're getting our foot in 8 states right now, and really working on this early phase of building that out, because we will introduce it to them and train their salespeople, and then they will sell to their customers.
That sounds great. Do you have hopes and aspirations for an international market also?
You know, it's ripe for that. I mean, Toyota, we have a excellent relationship with Toyota. Their national headquarters is just up the road from us here, so we get to see a good bit of them. They are number one in the lift equipment industry in the U.S. and the world. So there's a very large market here. The activities in those warehouses are the same overseas as they are here. So it's an exciting future that we have.
Oh, definitely for not just you, but I'm sure for all your shareholders too. Now, you're focused on converting tests and initial awareness into growing sales. This is a burning question. Everybody wants to know, what are you going to do in this regard?
Well, you know, with the lift equipment, there's a sales cycle, and we send out demonstration units so people can try these. Everybody wants to try it. It's a new product, looks different, works different, and we're working on that, and then training the sales force of these dealerships. Our big thing is getting credibility. Everybody is an early adapter, although we've had some are, but many aren't. So our sales and marketing plan is very focused on addressing that sales cycle and building out the network. We're also working with several large Fortune 100, 500 companies, and we hope to get a case study out of them, because when you're introducing a new product, there's nothing better than you know, the testimonials and the example of what it's done for household names.
All right, so let me jump in here for a second, because you're starting to amaze me here. You got little or no competition in the market sector that you're going after, and really there's no competition on the manufacturing side of your product. So that says a lot. Now, but give our audience the idea, the dollar amount of the market sector you're going after. Let's say, just because you mentioned this before, pallets and trucks alone. I mean, so they get an idea what revenue stream could grow to with you being in the front of this industry sector.
Yeah, sure. The one we're focused on most heavily right now is this lift equipment, and that's about a $600 million opportunity for that lift equipment, and that's just the Class 3. It's the walkies and the stand-on units. The ride-on units are another comparable size market. We are also, because our packs work and whether the equipment has a forklift and lifts, there's a whole other segment called tug and tow that we're already working with right now, and that's a similar size opportunity. And we are also bidding with the military integrations to take our packs and put them on wheels for troops that are in remote operations. And we also have a bid out for a stationary grid project with the Marines in the state of New York, which looks very promising, and also to have many follow-ons where you take our cells and battery management system and you just line them up in series in a big rack for energy storage system in those larger grid applications.
Now, I'm sure these people that are moving forward with you are not just doing it because it's something new and they want to be an early adopter of technology. There's got to be some kind of cost savings involved, otherwise nobody switches stuff like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Our packs, and it's because of the chemistry, it lasts 3 to 5 times longer than lead acid. Argonne National Lab, some of you may have heard that, have done that testing and validation. You know, it just isn't us. The cells have longer run times because of the chemistry, up to up to, depending on use, 25%, and then they maintain a higher state of charge throughout that whole time versus lead acid. There's no maintenance. So what those drive to is that the cost over the life of the truck, you put these packs in a truck, and it's going to be, depending on use, up to half the cost.
Wow.
So that's very compelling to these fleets in particular.
50% cost reduction. That is a good note to end on. Now, we've got to go, but please, one more time, contact information for you, for our audience to reach out to you.
Yes, it's, again, just Google Flux Power. The site is FLUXPWR.com. Our ticker symbol, we're public, is FLUX. The phone number is 877-505-3589.
Ron, you've been a great guest. I want you to come back and give us a report, a progress report, as we get down the road.
Love to, Michael. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Ron Dutt, CEO, Flux Power Holdings, FLUX symbol. And special thanks to Monk Media and 1-800-PublicRelations.com for all their media and PR support. We'll be right back on the other side of this break, and we're going to come back with Mervyn Price. He's the old friend of the show. He's been here a lot, and he brought with him a special guest. We're going to talk to Crystal Haig Morris. This lady is known for turning things around and making them work right when she gets on deck. We'll be right back.